we're going to read from the Tao of Pooh, which I've been trying to promote as a great work of philosophy. It's really, truly, truly awesome. So anyway, you'll find out. We'll be doing some yin and restorative like poses and listening to the Tao of Pooh. So let's begin. I am tempted to not lie down. So actually, let's get on our feet. We'll get warmed up, breathing, moving, and then we'll kind of slowly get to a point where we're just zoned out. I think that'll be the plan for today. So when you're ready, let's get onto our feet. Oh, that means I have to move the dog though, which is always heartbreaking. Okay, Coco Path, I'm so sorry. Can I drag you to here? Okay, awesome. So we're gonna come to the front of the mat. And we're gonna do some half Sun Salutations in the beginning. Great, I'm just gonna go press the little muty thing too. La la, this thing, yes. Okay, great. So just on your feet, you're going to take a moment now to find your own space on your mat. So you're going to get more into your body. You're gonna maybe close your eyes or just start to soften the eyes and start just rocking a little bit forward and back onto your feet. Move here just so it's easier for you to see me. And then you can feel beneath your feet kind of all the sensations of when the foot peels gently off the mat and when it comes back onto the mat. Just that weight distribution under your feet. And then experiment and discover for yourself kind of the width that you want your legs to be. The feet could be together, they could be hip width apart, just whatever feels right today. Then we're gonna let the belly relax, we're gonna let the hips relax. So the whole lower body from the rib cage downwards is just gonna go kind of flump to its ear. I guess like Winnie the Pooh. So you're gonna let yourself really just maybe even micro bend the knees, let the feet really feel grounded, let the shoulders drop. Nice. And then let the chin relax in a little and let the crown of the head just start to move back and align over your tailbone. Nice. So it might feel a little bit strange. It might feel like you're not used to holding your body this way, just more in natural kind of relaxed alignment. We all our minds tend to shape our bodies. So if we tend to be people that are always moving forward, you might be leaning forward, or if you tend to be kind of a melty puddle, maybe, you kind of be this way or that way. But now just press gently down through your feet. Find that sense of lightness through your body. And then we're going to let our breath just kind of flow into the body as you breathe. So feel the front of the heart just start to feel that flow of prana, of breath. And then as you exhale, let the breath just simply release. So we'll take a few more breaths like this, just very simple, nothing else yet, nothing that is a flow or a sequence, very simple, just breathe. So being just as you are, just where you are, starting right where you are. Just a couple more breaths like that, just being. Nice. And then in your own time, when you're ready and you're at the front of your mat, we're going to start moving into some gentle Sun Salutations. So just feel your feet. Really let yourself always bring the mind back to your connection to the earth throughout all of this. So inhale, we're going to lengthen up. Fill the front body with breath, and as you exhale, fold. And then inhaling, we'll lengthen the spine halfway. And then exhaling, step back into downward dog or half standing forward bend, whatever you like. Micro bend your knees and draw your hips back wherever you are. Relax the spine. Take another couple of breaths. Bend the knees, draw the heels back. Bend the knees, draw the heels back. Great, and then from here, we're going to meet with the right foot in front between the hands. So if you're in downward dog, you're going to bring your right knee to bend, extend the right leg, and then we'll step the foot between the hands. Nice. And draw your right hip back, relax your shoulders here. Great. So just breaking down our Sun Salutation. We're going to ground the left foot. Left heel is going to press back towards the mat, and then feel both your feet again. We'll rise from here. Inhale, lengthen all the way up. Draw the heart gently up. Bend the front knee a little bit more. Relax your shoulders. And then let's bring the arms back. Touch the fingers, maybe even interlace, and we'll fold forward through the inside of the right leg. And then both hands to the earth. We're going to step back. Again, downward dog. And we'll meet in plank. Just drawing the heart forward. Roll the shoulders back. Draw your heels back. If plank doesn't feel nice for you, feel free to come down onto the forearms instead. And draw the heels back still. Great. And then from here, we're going to relax the knees. Draw the shoulders to roll back, hands under the shoulders, draw the heart up. Nice, and then exhale, look over the left shoulder. Inhale to the center, exhale, look over the right shoulder. Let's do it one more time. So inhale to center, exhale, look over the left, and inhale to center, exhale over the right. Beautiful. And then back to center, we're going to tuck the toes, come back through to downward dog or half standing forward bend. Again, whatever works better for you. Bend your knees, draw the heels back. A few breaths like this. And then when you're ready, we'll be meeting with the left foot between the hands. So again, if you're in downward dog, bend the left knee, extend the left leg, open the hip. And then let's bring left foot forward between the hands. Nice. Relax your shoulders back. Draw your right heel back. Take a moment here. Really soften again so that you check into the back of the neck. We're not crunching it back. And then feel both your feet ground the right foot towards the earth. Nice. Pressing down towards the earth. Inhale. We'll draw the arms up. Shoulders are relaxed. Nice. Fingers can touch. We're going to bend the left knee a little bit more. Press down through the outer right foot. Great. And then hands go behind. We're going to interlace the fingers, roll the shoulders back. And then let's relax to the inside of the left leg. Couple of breaths. And then hands back onto the mat. You're going to step back. A quick moment in downward dog. And then inhale, come forward again to plank. Roll your shoulders back, draw the heels back. And then we'll relax the knees, elbows to the ribs. Rolling the shoulders back as we draw the heart up. And one more time, looking over the left shoulder. Back to center, looking over the right shoulder. And then twisting, looking over the left. Inhale to center and over the right. Great. Back to downward dog for 5 breaths or half standing forward bend for 5 breaths. Continuing to draw the outer hips back, feeling the feet anchoring towards the earth, wherever it's in contact with the earth. Take 3 more breaths here. Exhale through the mouth. Great. And then look forward towards the hands. Walk the feet towards the hands. And inhale, we'll lengthen forward halfway. Exhale, fold. And pressing down through the feet. Rising, lengthening all the way up. Nice. And exhale, palms to the heart. Great. We're going to do this again, and this time a little bit faster. So with each inhale and exhale, we'll be switching the movements. So bending the knees. Inhale, drawing up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen forward halfway. Exhale, step back. Downward dog. Inhale, extend the right leg. Exhale, right foot forward between the hands. Ground both the feet. Inhale, we'll draw the arms up. Exhale, hands interlace. And we're going to come and roll in towards the inside of the right leg. Both hands towards the earth. We're going to step back to plank or forearm plank. Rolling the shoulders back. And then knees towards the earth. Elbows to your ribs. Roll the heart up. Inhale. Exhale, look over the left. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, look over the right. One more time. Inhale to center. Exhale over to your left. And then back to center. Exhale over the right. Nice. And then tuck your toes. Come back through. Downward dog or half standing forward bend, whatever works better for you. Take a couple of moments here. Bend the knees. Draw the heels towards the earth a little more. Outer hips moving back, whichever pose you're choosing to do. And then inhale, let's bring the left leg all the way up. Bend the left knee. Exhale, left foot forward between the hands. Nice. Press down through both the feet. Inhale, draw the heart up. Exhale, interlace the hands behind you. Roll the shoulders back and release forward. Great, and then both hands back towards the earth. And we'll take a moment. Let's come to plank again. Roll the shoulders back, draw the heels back. Bring the belly button towards the spine. And release the knees, elbows to the ribs, lowering. Roll the tops of the shoulders back. Inhale, draw the heart up. Exhale, look over the left. Inhale to the center. Exhale to the right. One more time. Inhale to the center. Exhale to the left. And inhale to the center. Exhale to the right. Nice. And then tuck the toes. Back into downward dog for 5 breaths. Exhaling through your mouth for each of these. Feel free to micro bend your knees, draw your outer hips back. And one more big exhale. Great. And then inhale, look forward between your hands. Bend your knees. This time we're going to jump the feet towards the hands. Nice. And then inhale, lengthen the heart forward, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, fold. And we'll press down through the feet. Inhale, let's bring the arms all the way up. And exhale, palms to the heart. Nice. We're going to do something similar, just varying up some of the movements within some of the standing poses. So again, find your stance, whatever feels comfortable. Relax the shoulders. Press down through the feet. Great. We're going to start with just bringing the arms up. We're going to interlace the hands and press the palms up and away towards the sky. Relax the shoulders. And again, tailbone is going to relax down. Shoulders are going to relax down. And then just little by little, we're going to try to bring the hands a little further back. Nice. Couple more breaths like that. Anchor down through your inner feet. And then we'll lengthen to the left. We'll take 3 breaths here. So pressing down through the feet. bending to your left. Great, inhale, coming back up. Just extend the arms, exhale, release. Great, and then inhale, we'll bring the arms up again. Interlace one finger back, press the palms up. Relax your shoulders, relax the tailbone. Nice, take a couple more breaths here. Nice, and then we're gonna slowly extend towards the right. And again, just 3 breaths here towards your right, pressing down through your inner feet and just extending, opening through the side ribs. Nice. And then press down and exhale. Great. And then back to Sun Salutations. Pressing down through the feet. Inhale, I'm going to draw the heart up. Exhale, we're going to fold. Inhale, lengthen forward halfway. Exhale, step back, downward dog. And then inhale, right leg all the way up. Bend the right knee, open the right hip. Exhale, right foot forward between the hands. Nice. Ground the left foot and inhale. We're going to bring ourselves back to warrior one. Bend through the front knee a little bit more. And then we're going to bring the belly forward, sweep the arms back. Draw your shoulder blades towards each other. Turn the palms away. Great. And then propel yourself forward a little bit. Walk the left foot in a little. Draw your belly button to the spine. And then we'll bring the left leg away from the earth. So you're going to take a couple more breaths like that. Relax the back of the neck. Nice. And then hands towards the earth. Right hand onto the right hip, micro bend your right knee. We're going to turn the heart towards the right. Nice. Right elbow pointing up to the sky. Left foot is pressing back. Right hip is drawing back. Great. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Very well done. And then left foot onto the ground. Coming into our lunge with a little bit of a twist. So just slowly turn the heart to the right a little bit more. Nice. Keep drawing your right hip back. Great. We'll take a couple more breaths here. Just keep it simple. Great. And then both hands towards the earth. You're going to step the legs back. Take a moment in downward dog. Bend the knees. Draw your outer hips back. And then again, we're bending the knees and straightening the legs a few times. Great, and then from here, left leg is going to extend. Bend the left knee. Take the left foot forward between your hands. Nice. And we're going to ground our right foot, come into warrior one, press down through both your feet. Make sure you're still feeling through your feet. Coming up into warrior one. Nice, and then we're going to fold forward, taking the arms back, palms are going to face out, thumbs are going to point up. Roll the shoulder blades in towards each other. Great, and then from here, I'm going to slide the right foot in, and then we're going to try to come up a little more into warrior three. So extending the right leg, relaxing the back of the neck. Chin is going to relax as you look gently forward. Nice, and then both hands onto the earth. Relax your shoulders again. Left hand onto your left hip. Then just a little bit, turn the heart towards the left. Left elbow towards the sky. Right heel extended. Take a few breaths there. Yeah, just play with balance. Doesn't matter if we fall or not. Great. And then we'll land the right foot. Nice. And draw the left hip back a little bit more. Again, relax the lower back and we'll turn and twist a little bit here. So make it a simple twist. Relax your shoulders. Turn the heart a little more to your left. Couple more breaths. Great. And then both hands towards the earth. We're going to meet in plank. Roll the shoulders back. Draw the heels back. Tailbone back. Nice. And then knees towards the earth. Roll the shoulders back. Lowering. And inhale, we'll draw the heart up. Exhale, looking over the left. And inhale back to center. Exhale. One more time. Inhale back to center. Exhale. And inhale back to center. Exhale. Beautiful. And then downward dog. If you'd rather do child's pose, feel free. I'm going to take 5 breaths there. Big exhales through the mouth. Just letting anything in the body that is tension that you want to release. Anything that feels like it's tight around the throat or the heart. Just let it soften and melt through your out breath. 2 more breaths like this. And 1 more breath, just really letting it go. Great, and then from here, we're going to lower the knees towards the earth and walk the hands back. Next, let's step the right foot forward. And we're just coming to a simple lunge. So relax your shoulders, bend the knees, let the hips draw forward. Nice. Relax your shoulders here. Nice. And then take your right hand, the back of the right hand, towards the right side of your lower back. Just to give it a bit of a reassuring connection. And then we're going to see if we can just breathe into where the back of the hand is. Just 3 more breaths like that. Great, we're going to take this into a twist. Left hand towards the earth, bringing the left knee away. Draw the right hip back and we'll turn the heart. Then we'll add the right arm. So inhale, I'm going to draw the right arm all the way up. So feel like you're lengthening and opening through the heart. Take a couple more breaths like that. We'll do some circles with the arms. So looking forward, sweep the fingertips towards your mat. Inhale, we'll draw the heart up. Exhale, folding. So a few times like this. One last one. Nice. And we'll step back, downward dog for a moment. And then again, coming forward, lower both the knees. And we'll find our lunge on the other side. So left foot is going to come forward. We're going to let ourselves relax the hips forward. Nice. And again, keep it simple. Finding our sense of balance again first. Nice. Great. And then let's take the back of the left hand towards the left kidney. So where the lower back is on the left side. Nice. And then we're going to feel our breath there. So 3 more breaths like this. Great. And then we're going to take the right hand towards the earth. Bring the right knee away from the earth. Draw the right heel back. And we'll just turn the heart towards the left. Nice. Then let's sweep the left fingertips towards the sky, extending, relaxing the shoulders. Take a few breaths there, finding the shoulder blades. Let the shoulder blades gather and squeeze gently down towards the hips. Great. And then we're going to do some circles again. Soften forward. Inhale, draw up. towards your mat. Again, with your own breath, a few more times, whatever rhythm feels right for you. Great, and then both hands back towards the earth. One last little downward dog. Take the feet wider this time to both sides of your mat. Draw the hips back, relax, and let the spine just drape down. Let the neck, try to relax, let the neck go. Take 3 breaths here. Great, and then we're just going to bring the knees back towards the earth and take a seat for a moment. Nice. So we're going to find any comfortable spot on your mat and just have a seat, maybe with the knees bent, seated back towards your heels. If that's not comfortable, you can take any of your props and just kind of put it between your heels and the hips. Just take a few more moments like that. Again, find that naturalness. Let the belly be full. Let the shoulders soften. Let yourself sit back. Let the face soften. And then just notice that there's a sense of movement that is in balance with the sense of movement that's also happening concurrently. So allowing both to be there, not resisting one or the other. Just let your breath move naturally. A few more breaths just like this. Great. And then from here, we're going to maybe have some props handy if that's useful for you. So for some of you, you're going to be able to sit between your heels, your knees pointed forward. And in that case, I'll have you moving back. So this is just an option. So moving back and relaxing back like this for your yin pose. This is just option 1. Okay, option 2 is we're going to have, you can start like this, you can be seated like this, and then maybe you can take a block or 2 under your hips. Then we're going to take the right knee to bend, the right shin is along the mat, right? And then we're going to kind of draw the hands back a little bit more and hang out like this here. So whatever you choose, what you want to feel is that there is length happening along the front of the quadricep. Yeah. So as long as we're feeling that, and for some of us being seated even higher might feel better. So do what feels best. Like this might be already a very intense sensation. So because we're going to do yin yoga now for this one, we're going to be here for a few minutes. So you don't want to choose something too much. Check into your lower back now. Make sure that that feels okay. So wherever you are, you want to prop yourself properly. Some of us might want your bolsters behind you, or your couch, or your chair, whatever it is. Your elbows might be back. Yeah, so wherever you're leaning, that is a great option. Cool. And then we're just going to breathe here. We're going to hang out here for 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, not counting the time that we spent earlier getting into it. Nice. Okay, so we're just breathing together. We're on this together. I know that this is tough. Yeah. And for some of you, if it's not tough, lie all the way back. support the head if you're lying back. Great. Check into your breath. So now if it's become a place of kind of, like Halloween, where you're like, ooh, what's happening? Then you want to kind of chill out a little bit, soften a little bit. Don't make it so hard. You can always sit forward. You really don't have to be back. So whatever works, as long as you're feeling something there. Nice. So we'll be here for another half a minute. Just breathing into this together. I don't think this is a good place to start reading from the book, so we'll save it for the next pose. Great. A few more breaths like that, and just know that when we target the front of the quadricep, this is actually really good for our ability to kind of get calm again. So even though it feels difficult right now, this is an area where meridian-wise, so Chinese medicine-wise, we tend to hold worry or anxiety. So today, later, if you feel that kind of thing happening, really nice. Give yourself a bit of a stretch here. A stretch that targets not so much like your muscles, but we're opening up the tissues and the membranes that are wrapped around the muscles here. Beautiful. And then wherever you are, to come up, you're going to tap your chin, draw your belly button in towards your spine so that you're doing this safely. And then slowly start walking your hands forward. Great. And then we'll bring that right leg forward. And if you're seated on anything, we're going to come back down for a moment just to make it nice and easy. You might still lean back and just kind of relax there, draw your shoulders back, maybe let yourself hang back. Maybe it feels better for you today to come forward instead and kind of integrate here. So wherever you want to be, forward or back, we're just relaxing now. We're going to let ourselves feel what just happened on that right side. So just noticing, kind of being like a subtle shift, detective. Notice any difference, right side, left side. You can even close your eyes and feel. So the more we're able to tune into things, then when in life things happen, before our emotional responses become kind of heightened, extremely heightened, we can catch it before it escalates. So when you're ready, coming to the other side, for those of you who were bending both knees and going back, now that you've had your little break, you're going to do the same thing and still go back. But this time to make it a little different, have your knees apart and your big toes together. So more like your legs are in child's pose this time instead of having the knees together and leaning back. Take your knees wide, take your big toes together, and then let yourself start to find your way back. So, taking your time, coming back, having a little bit of support behind you if that feels good. And we're going to hang out here for a little bit. For some of us, again, the other side, I'm sure you're already moving into it, but just to show it, you're going to, again, have a seat, have something under you, bend the left knee this time. We're going to work into the left side. And then again, we're going to let ourselves lean back. Great. I'm going to take a couple more props behind me just so you can see how you can lux this up. Maybe you have a couch behind you that you can kind of lean into, or maybe you have a little ottoman. So hanging out here, breathing into this, as long as you're feeling that sense of opening along the front of the quadricep. So letting ourselves kind of shift from that place of reactiveness to what is happening, to finding ease, kind of adjusting the degree to which you expose yourself to this. So if it feels like too much, you choose and you dial it back a little bit. Nice. And then letting the mind start to get into a place where you're softening in that response. So notice if the mind is starting to kind of contract around the sensation. If it is, by noticing it, see how that already shifts your perspective, how it already shifts your physical response. And then we'll hang out here just for one more minute together. So breathing into this, knowing that this is going to help us with our ability to digest what is going on and our ability to have equanimity with anything that is happening. And breathing away the anxiety with each out breath. Yeah, you got this. So we'll hang out here for just another half a minute. As you hang out here, as we are practicing together as a group, but also as we hang out with ourselves, again, the mind might be engaging in its usual patterns of whatever it tends to do. And so again, let yourself lean back a little from that. It's almost like just watching that little movie of what usually goes on and deciding right now, just for 10 more breaths, to just watch. And that's really all meditation is. There's no making the thoughts go away. There's no having to respond and take action with every impulse. You're just going to be here and just watch it like a curious audience. Beautiful. Just 5 more breaths here. And if you have chosen a degree of this that is comfortable for you, that has some challenge, but is still filled with kindness for you, then really, really kudos to you for that. It's amazing when you can choose what works for you and listen to your body. Great, one more breath here. Great, and then draw your belly button to your spine, tuck the chin. Take your time to slowly walk the hands forward. Great. And then we'll lean to the side, extend the leg. And again, this is a nice time to notice what happened. So you can, again, sit with your legs wide and with your hands behind you, or if you're not wanting to lean back after all that, keeping it simple, we can just kind of hang out forward and just relax forward. Or you might have a cushion or a pillow that is nice, comforting. So letting yourself kind of come forward like this. We'll take a few more breaths here, just checking into what might be transpiring, what might have shifted. What are you feeling energetically? Great. Beautiful. And then from here, we're going to sit with the legs crossed. So for some of you, again, those of you where the hips are already feeling quite open, you're going to stack your knees instead, right knee over the left, or we'll sit simple cross-legged with right shin in front of the left. And again, sitting like this, sometimes it's nice to have something to raise you a little higher. If you take something that is quite high and you're seated quite high, then it is always nice to have something in front of you to help you feel more balanced if you're coming forward after that. So just take your time, find what works for you, or you can just be seated like this. That might already be a lot for the hip. So whichever variation, we're going to be in this one again for 2.5 minutes. So you can also, if you have the legs crossed, start walking the hands forward. And some of you, again, might like having your pillow and letting yourself fall forward, resting forward like that. Nice. Because I really believe in support. If you have more things that feel solid around you, you can also take it like a block under that pillow and relax over it. Nice. So we're now in a shape that will help us get into the gallbladder channels. And when we work into the liver gallbladder channels, it's really good for helping us to regulate and release frustration. So if we're feeling a little bit angry or irritated today, again, release the hips and breathe into all of that, all of the meridians that are around the hips. So I'm going to start sharing with you from the Tao of Pooh. It would be, kind of want to start right from the beginning, and then as we continue on our weekly sessions, every now and then I'll bring this back, and then we'll kind of get through the whole thing together, enjoy the whole thing together. So the Tao of Pooh, forward. What's this you're writing? Asked Pooh, climbing onto the writing table. The Tao of Pooh, I replied. The how of Pooh? Asked Pooh, smudging one of the words I had just written. The Tao of Pooh, I replied, poking his paw away with my pencil. It seems more like the ow of Pooh, said Pooh, rubbing his paw. Well, it's not, I replied huffily. What's it about? Asked Pooh, leaning forward and smearing another word. It's about how to stay happy and calm under all circumstances, I yelled. Have you read it? Asked Pooh. That was after some of us were discussing the great masters of wisdom. And someone was saying how all of them came from the East, and I was saying that some of them didn't. But he was going on and on, just like the sentence, not paying any attention, when I decided to read a quotation of wisdom from the West to prove that there was more to the world than one half. And I read, when you wake up in the morning, Pooh, said Piglet at last, what's the first thing you say to yourself? What's for breakfast? Said Pooh. What do you say, Piglet? I say, I wonder what's going to happen exciting today, said Piglet. Pooh nodded thoughtfully. It's the same thing, he said. What's that? The unbeliever said. Wisdom from a Western Taoist, I said. It sounds like something from Winnie the Pooh, he said. It is, I said. That's not about Taoism, he said. Oh, yes it is. No, it's not, he said. What do you think it's about? I said. It's about this dumpy little bear that wanders around asking silly questions, making up songs, and going through all kinds of adventures, without ever accumulating any amount of intellectual knowledge, or losing his simple-minded sort of happiness. That's what it's about, he said. Same thing, I said. That's when I began to get an idea, to write a book that explained the principles of Taoism through Winnie the Pooh, and explained Winnie the Pooh through the principles of Taoism. When informed of my intentions, the scholars exclaimed, preposterous, and things like that. Others said it was the stupidest thing that they had ever heard, and that I must be dreaming. Some said it was a nice idea, but too difficult. Just where would you even begin? They asked. Well, an old Taoist saying puts it this way. A 1,000-mile journey begins with one step. So I think we'll start at the beginning. Nice. And then from here, we're just going to shift sides. So take a moment, bring yourself back. I hope that was entertaining so far. And then we're going to switch sides. Left knee on top of the right, or left shin in front of the right. And again, coming forward in whatever way feels best for you. Some kind of prop that you can feel supported by as you come forward. And arranging yourself so that it really feels like what you're targeting is the hips and you're not overstraining the spine. Nice. Great. Take a deep breath there and exhale completely. And now we really get into the Pooh, the Tao of Pooh. You see, Pooh, I said, a lot of people don't seem to see what Taoism is. Yes, said Pooh, blinking his eyes. So that's what this chapter is for, to explain things a bit. Oh, I see, said Pooh. And the easiest way to do that would be for us to go to China for a moment. What? Said Pooh, his eyes wide open in amazement. Right now? Of course. All we need to do is to lean back, relax, and there we are. Oh, I see, said Pooh. Let's imagine that we have walked down a narrow street in a large Chinese city and have found a small shop that sells scrolls painted in a classic manner. We go inside and ask to be shown something allegorical, something humorous perhaps, but with some sort of timeless meaning. The shopkeeper smiles. I have just the thing, he tells us, a copy of the Vinegar Tasters. He leads us to a large table and unrolls the scroll, placing it down for us to examine. Excuse me, I must attend to something for a moment, he says, and goes to the back of the shop, leaving us alone with the painting. Although we can see that this is a fairly recent version, we know that the original was painted long ago. Just when is uncertain. But by now, the theme of the painting is well known. We see three men standing around a vat of vinegar. Each has dipped his finger into the vinegar and has tasted it. The expression on each man's face shows his individual reaction. Since the painting is allegorical, we are to understand that these are no ordinary vinegar tasters, but are instead representatives of the three teachings of China, and that the vinegar they are sampling represents the essence of life. Three masters are Confucius, Buddha, and Lao Tzu, author of the oldest existing book of Taoism. The first has a sour look on his face. The second wears a bitter expression. But the third man is smiling. To Confucius, life seemed rather sour. He believed that the present was out of step with the past, and that the government of men on earth was out of harmony with the way of the earth, the government of the universe. Therefore, he emphasized reverence for the ancestors, as well as for the ancient rituals and ceremonies in which the emperor, as the son of heaven, acted as an intermediary between limitless heaven and limited earth. Under Confucianism, the use of precisely measured court music, prescribed steps, actions, and phrases all added up to an extremely complex system of rituals, each used for a particular purpose at a particular time. A saying was recorded about Confucius: if the mat is not straight, the master would not sit. This ought to give an indication of the extent to which things were carried out under Confucianism. Great. We're just going to shift from this shape. So take your time and slowly start walking the hands back. Great. And again, we're going to extend the legs and lean back. So whatever feels comfortable, close your eyes and just hang back. Take a few more breaths like that and just notice what it might feel like right now, having worked into the outer meridians of the legs, where you might be feeling sensation and energy and movement. Great. Nice. We're going to move into the next one. And you're going to have one of your props, something that is a little bit higher if you have a pillow there, and maybe two pillows if you need something wider. We're going to come into child's pose. If you have extra blankets, you're going to take one kind of right between the belly and the legs, so that when you come forward, you can rest the forehead onto the bolster. Your arms can be relaxed forward, or if you want to, you can take the hands together and rest the hands onto your back. So as you find what works for you, you're going to shimmy, you're going to find a way to feel like there's length in your spine. So I moved back a little bit because it felt like when I anchored my forehead, I could lengthen my tailbone back a little bit more. So maybe that would feel nice for you. Arms forward is easier. So if you really want to just relax right now, just have your arms forward and we'll rest forward like this. So we're going to be here for a few more minutes in our yin style child's pose. Great. And then let's go back to the Tao of Pooh. To Buddha, the second figure in the painting, life on earth was bitter, filled with attachments and desires that led to suffering. The world was seen as a setter of traps, a generator of illusions, a revolving wheel of pain for all creatures. In order to find peace, the Buddhists considered it necessary to transcend the world of dust and reach nirvana, literally a state of no wind. Although the essentially optimistic attitude of the Chinese altered Buddhism considerably after it was brought in from its native India, the devout Buddhas often saw the way to nirvana interrupted all the way by the bitter wind of everyday existence. To Lao Tzu, the harmony that naturally existed between heaven and earth from the very beginning could be found by anyone at any time, but not by following the rules of the Confucianists. As he stated in his Tao Te Ching, the Tao Virtue Book, earth was in essence a reflection of heaven, run by the same laws, not by the laws of men. These laws affected not only the spinning of distant planets, but the activities of the birds in the forest and the fish in the sea. According to Lao Tzu, the more men interfered with natural balance, produced and governed by the universal laws, the further away the harmony retreated into the distance. The more forcing, the more trouble. Whether heavy or light, wet or dry, fast or slow, everything had its own nature already within it, which could not be violated without causing difficulties. When abstract and arbitrary rules were imposed from the outside, struggle was inevitable. Only then did life become sour. noble lessons. Its lessons needed to be learned, just as its laws needed to be followed. Then all would go well. Rather than turn away from the world of dust, Lao Tzu advised others to join the dust of the world. What he saw operating behind everything in heaven and earth, he called Tao, the way. A basic principle of Lao Tzu's teaching was that this way of the universe could not be adequately described in words, and that it would be insulting both to its unlimited power and to the intelligent human mind to attempt to do so. Still, its nature could be understood, and those who cared the most about it, and the life from which it was inseparable, understood it best. Over the centuries, Lao Tzu's classic teachings were developed and divided into philosophical, monastic, and folk religious forms. All of these could be included under the general heading of Taoism. But the basic Taoism that we're concerned with here is simply a particular way of appreciating, learning from, and working with whatever happens in everyday life. From the Taoist point of view, the natural result of this harmonious way of living is happiness. You may say that happy serenity is the most noticeable characteristic of the Taoist personality, and a subtle sense of humor is apparent even in the most profound Taoist writings, such as the 2,500-year-old Tao Te Ching. In the writing of Taoism's second major writer, Zhuangzi, quiet laughter seems to bubble up like water from a fountain. But what does that have to do with vinegar? Asked Pooh. I thought I had explained that, I said. I don't think so, said Pooh. Well then, I'll explain it now. That's good, said Pooh. In the painting, why is Lao Tzu smiling? After all, that vinegar that represents life must certainly have an unpleasant taste, as the expressions on the faces of the other two men indicate. But through working in harmony with life circumstances, Taoist understanding changes what others might perceive as negative into something positive. From the Taoist point of view, sourness and bitterness come from the interfering and unappreciative mind. Life itself, when understood and utilized for what it is sweet. That is the message of the vinegar tasters. Great. And then we're pausing here to come into Shavasana. So when you're ready, take your time to find whatever you might want today to support your body. Maybe something that goes under your knees, maybe a blanket over your body, or even under your body. So maybe create a little softness. And we'll have some support under the back of the head. So taking your time, lengthening out the body from that folded child's pose. Now to just really extend the legs and to open up the arms. And to let yourself simply feel like you're able to spread out and rest against the support of the earth. And then there's nothing else to have to do. We're just going to take a few minutes here, letting ourselves integrate. So when we work with yin poses, it's subtle, but it's deep. So letting all of that percolated, that mixture of yin and yang yoga that we did today, just letting it come to a natural balance within you. Letting your natural wisdom guide you. There's nothing else to have to do now. You're simply relaxing, simply breathing. And as you rest here, I'll just read to you the last little bit of this first chapter. So life itself, when understood and utilized for what it is sweet. That is the message of the vinegar tasters. Sweet. You mean like honey? Said Pooh. Well, maybe not that sweet, I said. That would be overdoing it a bit. Are we still supposed to be in China? Pooh asked, cautiously. No, we're through explaining, and now we're back at the writing table. Oh. Well, we're just in time for something to eat, he added, wandering over to the kitchen cupboard. Just resting the next couple of minutes in silence, letting all of this ripple through. And as you rest here, just taking a moment to check in. Which of the vinegar tasters resonated with you? You usually might find life to be a little sweet, or sour, or bitter. It doesn't matter, just noticing. And then noticing today, as you journey forward, what kind of intention you'd like to set. What would you like to choose as a more dominant flavor in your life today? And what might help you to do that? Allowing that wisdom from within to guide you. Beautiful. Starting to deepen your breath. Smooth, deep breaths into the body. Feeling the prana circulating throughout the body. Feeling safe and complete in your body, just as you are. Taking your time, find your way back to any comfortable seat. We'll meet with the eyes softly closed, with the palms together at the heart. And as you feel the left palm meet the right, as you feel the yin meet with the yang, know that you have the ability to hold both the light and the dark, and that all things are in essence in balance. So So we'll chant Om to seal our practice. Taking a breath in together. And bowing towards our hearts and each other. Namaste.